11 years ago, I lost somebody very dear to me. His name was Anthony Magliaro. Anthony was only 19 years old. Anthony also was my nephew. He was my sister's only son. He was my godson, and he was very close to my oldest son, Gary, who is 27 now. Anthony died of a heroin overdose. Anthony started using recreational drugs when he was in the 8th grade. By the time he was a sophomore in high school, he decided that he didn't like school anymore, and he dropped out. His parents tried to talk him out of it, but to no avail. He ended up dropping out. Then he proceeded on to harder things. He started drinking, he was smoking marijuana, and then one thing just escalated into another. Next thing you know, he was doing heroin. At the time, we didn't know that he was doing heroin. He would show up for family functions looking groggy, or they would show up late for the function, and we couldn't figure it out. When I think back, now I realize that he was on drugs, but we didn't know it. We didn't know what heroin was. Anthony was only 19. He had his whole life ahead of him. He could have a huge career ahead. He could have had a family. My sister had missed out on him graduating from high school, graduating from college, getting married, having children. The devastation of drug addiction is it totally pulls apart a whole family. Everybody is involved when it comes to drug addiction. If you think it doesn't affect you, if a cousin or a neighbor or somebody you're close to is on drugs, it affects everyone. My sister still grieves every single day of her life. Yes, she's moved on, but she still grieves every day for her only son. It affected my mother. It affected my family, my husband. We miss Anthony dearly every day. He was 19. I always tell myself he was just a kid. He had no idea. The drug was so strong, it meant more to him than his family members. I remember he totally one day convinced his parents, I have a problem, and they put him in rehab, and he was there for 90 days. He was in rehab for 90 days. When he came out of rehab in June, that was the last time I saw my nephew alive. He proudly walked into my house and he said, "Look, Aunt Karen, this is my necklace I got for completing my 90 days. On July 17, 2002, I got the devastating call that my nephew had passed away. He had died in his sleep. He decided one last time he was going to try heroin. Heroin won out, and Anthony passed away. And we can't bring him back. So to anybody that's thinking that they want to get into it, don't let people talk you into anything. Say no. Just say no. And I want to show you a picture of him. And this is what he looked like the last time I saw him alive. Rest in peace, Anthony Magliaro.